a segue. Somebody said that, well, I saw a post where people were saying that after looking at Lil Baby's documentary, they think he's the Jay-Z of Atlanta or something. But,
Talk about the music.
okay. This new record, what's the name of this song? Is it Detox?
Detox.
I didn't like it.
I didn't either.
Yeah, people talk about mumble rap, and I always say I think that it's unfortunate that, let's just keep it real. I think Ebro at Hot 97 came up with this term, and it wasn't a term of endearment on any levels. So old man Ebro came up with this term, and Migos always get pegged with this whole mumble rap thing, and I can hear what they're saying clearly. This song sounded like a bunch of mumbling to me.
You want to know what I was thinking about? You and I have been having the whole 21 Savage Lil Baby thing, and I was really thinking when I was listening to this record, I was like, Mike likes Savage because Savage has a better rap voice that you can hear, and Savage knows who he is on the mic. Because here's what I was telling you, part of why I picked Lil Baby is because, it's kind of like, it's like when you, it's like when I first heard about Kyrie. I knew even then it was like, no, the way they were talking about Kyrie, it's like, no, he's different. Like the talent and the skill level, like coming out of Duke when he was getting recruited by Duke, the way that they were talking about him. Keep in mind, I mean, Jason Williams had just been there. This place had had Bobby Hurley. This place had had All-American point guards. They were talking about him differently. Bobby Hurley was the all-time assist leader at the time. They were talking about Kyrie differently. Like it was almost like when Kenny Anderson went to Georgia Tech kind of talk. It's like this guy's like something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing kind of here that I was seeing with Lil Baby early on when I was hearing him like on Crash Talk, the Schoolboy Q on Water. I'm like, no, I'm like, he's rapping like he's got a point to prove. You know what I mean? Very T.I. like early on. And I'm not going to say that money and fame have gotten to him, but he doesn't appear to have a clear focused vision about who he is as an artist because I haven't heard any improvement since My Turn. And I didn't think My Turn was that big of an improvement. I thought that was a stand pat. And that was 2.5 years ago.
I just saw Lil Baby sitting down with Stacey Abrams, and he's been to the White House, sitting there with Kamala Harris and all of this stuff. Like, I think that when things happen really fast, and we were talking about this with Megan Thee Stallion, even though she did put out a pretty pretty good effort. I like that. But you could tell when things happen fast because she also put out Good News, which missed the mark. When things happen really fast, you lose that focus from music and you're doing everything else, and people are pulling you in all these other directions. And the music, which is what got you here, is secondary. I know Michael Jordan was talking about on Last Dance. Once again, I know I quote this Last Dance all the time, but he was talking about, with the shoe empire and all that, he knew that his job was to play basketball. He had to focus on that because without that, the shoes mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Basketball is number one. You work on that craft and all the other stuff will come. I don't know if that works the same way in the music industry because a lot of the time the music industry is about everything else other than the music. But that's the kind of stuff that makes you fall off. And I will give Jay-Z that. We were just talking about Volume 3. Jay-Z made sure he did what he needed to do musically, no matter how big he got in his prime. It's like, oh, I'm going to need a record that's going to hit here. I'm going to need a record that's going to hit here. I know I'm Jay. I know I'm already a star, whatever, but I still need to make Big Pimpin'. I still need to make Give It To Me. I still need to be able to make, an album that's critically acclaimed like The Blueprint. I still need to be able to make Excuse
I get what
Me,
you're
Miss,
saying. No, that's an art too. That's an art form too. That is part of this craft. If you're going to be an artist of that type of high level stature, is knowing who your audience is. It's like, I'll tell you what, and we've talked about him a lot. One of the things that happened to Luda is that Luda tried to change the type of hit that he gave you, and people didn't want that from him. Yep. He was the same hit maker. He was just trying to make a different style of hit because he had grown up. Like, he was getting married, getting into real estate, investing, helping the community, having kids and stuff. It's like, well, that guy that made Move Bitch isn't there anymore. You feel me?
Right.
That guy's moved bitch up into the suburbs and bought some land.
To be fair, it's very difficult to sustain a Move Bitch type of, catalog.
But that's what I'm saying. And so when you grow up, like when you really, really grow up in hip hop, You know, I think a lot of people forget is that most artists peak career is over before we get to see them really grow up. Like Mike,
Right?
Tribe was done before they were 30.
Crazy to even think that.
Crazy. Think about that.
Yeah.
Tribe was actually breaking up as they were getting into their 30s. I mean,
Cass was
Mike,
done at 27, if that. Yeah.
think about who you were 10 years ago at 30.
Yeah. Life is just beginning, really, in some aspects.
Right. And so you miss stuff from these guys. And what I'm saying is that little baby, I'm just not seeing the growth that I'd like to see. It's like he's not a young artist or up and coming artist anymore. It's like, no, you're here. It's about production. Your last album was good. It wasn't great. It was good. I told you, Mike, he is somebody that I thought could potentially have the keys to the kingdom of hip hop and the city, but the music has to be there for that.
But it
There's
sounds like
nothing,
they're trying to give him that. But again, like you said, the music's not following
even
along with that.
he's even saying, it's like he even says on the record, I'm concerned about the money, not the fame part of it. And it's like, well, they sure have thrown you out up on Front Street enough for you not to be concerned about the fame part of it, because you sure up in here with Stacey Abrams and Kamal. It looks like you're very much concerned with the fame part of it, even though your music's saying differently. But here's
Right.
what I'm really saying: the lack of quality is showing that you're concerned with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Quality's just not there, Mike. I was thinking about all the Savages guest appearances since my turn, and it's like I haven't had a reason to tell you that Lil Baby is better than Savage, and I can't definitely after this record. I'm thinking about I was playing Savage's the joint with him and Gunna on DS Forever, the old Ice Cream Man shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit hard.
And the joint that he got with JID now, you know.
Both of those joints are blowing this shit out the water.
Yeah. Not to mention Savage Mode too.
Let's not even talk about Running, Mike. That's what I'm saying. It's like no, Running might have been the best rap song released in the South that year.
Becca Jones with the super chat says, do you guys think that the buzz for KD3 is still a thing? Of course it is. And if it's not, that's fine, you know, because it's coming anyway. Mad Max with the super chat says, Lil Baby career is in the balance of his next album. A dud, he's gonna fizzle out. And he sounds like he's already been pimped out. That's interesting, man. I think that what we will say in this generation, I think it's a lot more difficult to come back from a dud. It really is. Like back in the day, you used to be able to just come right back as a comeback album. Like I don't think that there's a such thing as a comeback album anymore.
I don't know. I think Kendrick could show us. Because here's what I'm saying. Even what's going on with Kendrick right now, do you understand that how about this? If all Kendrick had was Damn right now, and he didn't have To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City like before Damn, we'd be saying it's over for him.
He'd be getting killed right now. Yeah.
Right. He'd be getting killed on right now.
Yeah. DeCarlo says 21 Savage makes better hits than Lil Baby. Honestly, Lil Baby has saturated the industry with his mediocre songs. He also says 21 Savage makes better. Okay, double chat that. Appreciate that. Let's see. I saw another super chat. I believe there's a lot to say about this. Mad Max says, hold on, Coop. My turn for the kids 24 and under is a classic. You can't just say his album was just good. Okay, my
It's
turn.
a really good album. Hold on. So here's what I'm saying. So My Turn came out in January of 2020, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in our top 15 albums of the year. But here's what I mean. Go listen to My Turn and go listen to Pray for Paris or Alfredo or King's Disease 1 that came out literally the same year and tell me how great that album is again.
But you
why ain't nobody talking about?
But he said the 24 and under crowd. You would have to ask them what they think about that.
See, this is what I'm saying. The 24 and under crowd are the same people that like made Illmatic a classic and made Ready to Die. Like no, like I ain't heard nobody. We're in Atlanta. Ain't nobody 24 and under been walking around saying My Turn is a classic. Nobody. Nobody. We down here.
I haven't
That's
heard.
not true. Mike, name one person under 30.
You know what? I'm gonna be fair.
I'm
gonna be fair to Mad Max. I haven't asked. I'll ask.
I'll be outside.
I got some young cats.
No, My Turn a classic.
I got some young cats to be DJing.
Maybe on the west side, like you know what I'm saying.
I got some young cats to be DJing and be at the studio and all that. I'll ask them.
Right. I bet you everybody on the east side right now saying JID album a classic. You feel me?
Possibly.
Right, everybody on Gresham and Candler Memorial right now, like, you know that JID a classic Coop. I don't even want to pull up on the east side right now, man.
Well, for the 24 and under crowd here in this chat, is it a classic? Let us know. Um,
And if it was a classic for the 24 and under crowd, y'all 27 now. What up with now?
Well, let me ask you this, man. Speaking of, well, I guess kind of switching gears a little bit. What did you think of that Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane song?
I don't know how to feel about that record.
They sound great.
They sound great.
Yeah.
But because it's them, it's almost like you're expecting more lyrical miracle than you get. What you get is
What
some
are
really
the
good verses.
expectations of Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane collaborating in 2022?
That's what I'm saying. That's why this Nas Magic thing has me all messed up now. Because now everybody who's been great, that like has that great lyrical record name, I'm like, you can do it. I know you can do it.
I mean,
you're Cool G Rap and Kane. And that's not to say that the record's not dope, because the record's dope.
The biggest thing, man, is the voice. And when their voices are there, you feel like anything's possible.
Right. And they're there. No, they're in pocket. Their rhyme scheme is there. They've updated their formula. You know, even I like how they put it together, you know what I mean? Because you know, G Rap's on his Corona Queen shit. And and I like how Kane referenced Big and Jay and himself about Brooklyn in terms of you know where you at. You from Brooklyn. Like this where Big from. This where Jay from. This where I'm from.
And
like
all those guys come from under him.
It's like to kind of remind you is it's like, no. These niggas exist because I existed. And that was nice.
Does it get some sort of song of the year consideration? Because I was going to talk to you about song of the year as well.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Do you think the bar work is better than Cole and Benny's work on Johnny P's Caddy? Just straight up being honest?
No.
Aquamarine?
No.
So it can be a contender because I feel what you're saying. It's G. How about this? I think Cool G Rap has dropped 2 songs that are like block burners this year. That's Diesel with Alchemist and this one. And so both of those would hover around because I still play Diesel. That's the shit too.
Mm-hmm.
So it would hover around that song of the year contention. But right now in my mind, I'm thinking Johnny P's Caddy and Aquamarine. And I felt like there was a song, and Strong Friend from Earth Gang.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know, it's funny you mentioned Earth Gang.
It's a strong ass record, Mike. It's very. How about this?
It is.
Because Kanye did what he did with Jesus Walks, all types of records like that exist now, and when they get executed wonderfully, Strong Friends is one of the better executed records in that vein. You know what I mean? Think about how many dope mental health awareness records do we have?
No, you're right. Earth Gang did their thing, man. I think that you're right. JID's performance as a lyricist on his album, The Forever Story, is impressive. But as an album, song for song, flow, Earth Gang is still in front when it comes to that. And I'm thinking, man, I might have Earth Gang top 3. I know you said you were on Hip Hop DX. You said that they have Cheat Code rated the highest as a hip hop album this year.
Mm-hmm. They gave it a 4.6. That was their highest rating this year.
I'm okay with the 3 best albums that I've heard this year in this order. I'm gonna go No Fear of Time. I'm going Earth Gang. I'm going Cheat Code.
I'm cool with you on that. The Che Noir is the one that I would want to listen to again to probably throw up in that mix. But it's like I told you,
4 there.
Yeah, but it's right there. The Ransom. How about this? Ransom and JID are like on the back end of like the album of the year stuff. I'm with you on No Fear of Time, Cheat Codes, The Che, and Ghetto Gods.
Ghetto Gods. Yes.
Yeah. No, Ghetto Gods.
Ghetto Gods is special.
And it's holding up well.
Yeah, it is holding up well. It should be talked about more. It actually took us a minute to get to it too. You know, my guy is a DJ. You know, shout out to him, Paperboy. He put me onto it. He was like, man, y'all got to talk about Ghetto Guys. Got to talk about Ghetto Guys. And I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to Ghetto Guys.
Hannah Talk 4 is on the back end of that conversation. It's Almost Dry still has so many highlights on it, Mike. Diet Coke still isn't there.
It's Almost Dry frustrates me in a sense where
It does. It
It's
should be so
been
much better.
it's been continuously said album of the year, album of the year, album of the year. And I think that it once again, similar to the JID, it has some missteps that I feel like just some simple rearranging could make the album better. And it's not on the level of Ghetto Gods.
It's not.
Even though it could be. It could be, and that's the messed
The
up part about it.
highlights, Mike. I mean, okay, so just Brambleton, Let the Smoker Shine the Coop, Diet Coke, Neck and Wrist, and the joint with No Malice. Like as far as 5 records go, I don't think you may find a album this year that has 5 better records than those 5 records.
This is what I will say about It's Almost Dry. It has some of it has if we're doing the top 20 songs, it might have more in there than the other efforts.
Yeah, because I think Thought would only have 2. I think Earth Gang might have 1. I don't even know if Che or Ransom would necessarily have a top 20 song per se. I would think Black Star with Yonders and maybe another joint on there would probably crack it. So yeah, as far as like it's, I told you, It's Almost Dry is very like a Hitler wears Hermes 8, like in the sense that it's like, oh well, the fly shit is the fly shit that you'll find. It's just inconsistent.
If somebody said Diet Coke was song of the year, I wouldn't be mad at that.
I would.
I
That
mean,
means
when Diet Coke dropped, everybody was rhyming
This
over
is
it.
like we can't. I don't know. It's like I can't listen to something like Aquamarine and hand it over to Diet Coke, no matter how much I love Push.
No, I understand what you're saying. Aquamarine's the better song, but when Diet Coke dropped, everybody was rhyming over that beat. Inspector said Savage has a top 30 voice all time. Wow.
He's got a great voice. No, that's one of the things that I noticed from Lil Baby still doing all the auto tune. It's like, man, Savage never had to do any of this and always comes through clear.
I don't
He
like
needs to
all
switch
that
up his
auto
flow.
tune. I don't like all that auto tune. I don't. And
I can't front, Mike. I thought that he would kind of. I thought he would kind of grow out of that phase too. I don't like that he's still using it either, because this is what I mean about there's no growth. It's like, no, you literally sound like the same guy 2.5 years ago from January 2020. Like,
Let,
why do
let
you
me
sound
clarify
like
myself.
no? How about this? If we're gonna be hard on Kendrick for being gone for 5 years, Lil Baby doesn't have Kendrick's repertoire on any sort of level, and has actually been gone 2.5 years. He's been gone 2.5 years since he's released the album. Like, he released an album in January of 2020. It's September of 2022, and we're just getting the single.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a full 3 years before we even get an album.
I want to clarify myself when I just said about the auto tune. I don't like people leaning on the auto tune. Like, I think when you use it properly, or like Future's been able to do over his career, cool. But this song sounded like he was leaning on auto tune. Like you said, like, you don't need all that. You shouldn't.
Right.
36 Chambers says JID's album may define the sound of what modern lyrical hip hop is going to become in the next few years. I could see that.
See that?
I think that, we're gone away from the days, of lyricists being on the boom bap stuff from a mainstream, level. Mad Max says Ransom's album and JID's album are better than those. I like Ransom's album a lot. And I have Ransom as a lyricist of the year candidate too. But can you honestly say Ransom's album is better than Lupe's album, Drill Music and
I was
Zion?
actually saying that we just leaving Lupe's album out too. Lupe's
I don't
album's
think
up
it's
there
better
too.
than Drill Music and Zion. Not to me.
It's not. It's not. I'm
Mad
sorry,
Max
because here's the
says,
thing.
I don't know. I don't like
it.
ghetto guys like that. That's what Mad Max says. He don't like ghetto
Oh.
guys like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's tripping. That would be more in his age bracket too, to be honest with you. But or somewhere in between he and us and him in terms of, like, stylistically, where it would probably fall somewhere in the middle. When Lupe makes music that is aesthetically pleasing, as in when he's not crafting it for it to be too crafty for you, oh well, it's gonna register more than a Ransom album. He's a better MC. He's a better songwriter. He's better lyrically. He's better vocally. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's going to win that fight. You know what I mean? And so it's no disrespect to Ransom. It's just like, well, if Lupe is going to deliver a palatable album, it's probably going to be an album of the year contender, which this one is. To be honest with you, I'm really more interested to hear what his following project would be if he's in a mode of making music in this manner right now. I think it'd be the best way to frame that.
I want to speak to why maybe the Earth Gang Ghetto Gods album is not connecting. Do you think that, or not connecting with some, let me say it like that. Do you think that their image and their, I guess, presentation per se is off-putting to certain hip hop fans? Is it the dialect? Is it the approach?
Elaborate. Dialect
All right, this is
approach.
what I'm gonna say. I
You're not
feel
saying anything about their physical appearance, are you?
no, I'm just talking about how they, dress and come across to some who might not just take the
How are they
music
coming across?
first.
That's what I'm asking you. That's a better
It's
question.
weirdos. Let me
Oh,
say it
is that
like
how they
this.
come off? Is that how they're coming off?
Because
I wouldn't know.
this is what I was gonna say. Like let's just close our eyes and imagine that Andre steps out in blonde wigs for the first album. I mean, how you think people are giving the music the same chance that they would if they knew that this is the guy in the Braves jersey and Southern Playalistic?
No. Three Stacks did that. So hopefully you don't have to go through that.
I
No?
still think that it helps for any artist to be relatable from a visual standpoint, right?
Well, they're not getting good advice from their mentor now, are they?
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, but it's cool to dare to be different and you want to be yourself and you want to look like the music. I know that was one of the big things that Dre said
I
that
mean, I
really
get I get
connected to
that, but
me.
here's what I'm saying is that it's easier for J. Cole, who's worth like $100 million, to pull off that look because it's like, well, people know he has like $100 million, but nobody knows who you are, and you're trying to pull off that look. It's different, and I hate to say it, it's almost like it's not acceptable to be bummy when you don't have money. It is when you do, though.
Well, the thing is, with J. Cole, even when he came in the game and introduced himself to everybody, he looked like the average guy. He looked regular. He didn't have like the long flowing dreads, whatever. He had a, what I'm saying,
Hey, Mike, can
Caesar
I tell you
cut.
something? When he came out, he dressed exactly the way guys from North Carolina dressed at that time.
Yeah.
I know that for
I
a
mean, the
fact.
same
Like,
thing with
like,
Dre with 3000. When he
yeah,
came out, he dressed just like everybody in Atlanta did.
yeah, he was in Atlanta
Yeah.
because he's in
And once
Atlanta.
you
Then.
got
Right.
your fans
Right.
grow with you. But when you just come in the door, and I'm going to say this, I was kind of off put by Black Eyed Peas back in the day because they presented themselves so weird to me. I didn't connect with them.
And it hurt them. That's what I'm saying. This is
Yeah,
hip
and it
hop.
wasn't like they was whack. When I heard that's the joint, that's the jam, it was like song ain't whack, but I don't really rock with these guys. They look like weirdos to me.
You better get some black Air Force Ones and a gold chain and not get robbed in this motherfucker.
So
Take your
yeah,
ass
I mean,
outside. This shit ain't about to.
I think the presentation may be why they're not connecting. Because other than that, I don't get it because the music is there.
Music's there,
Yeah,
but this is what I mean. Okay, so I'm not joking when I say this. It's like, no, they need a real A&R. That's why I told you, Mike, before. I mean, I just kind of like said it last week because it's true. No, I was actively trying to get A&R jobs before I came to you to work for, according to hip hop, and they were pretty much like, what?
A and
It's
R
like,
don't exist
somebody
no
to
more.
help develop your artist. You like make the artists who they're supposed to be, like in front of the camera and also behind the scenes. No, you don't know what. Right. This 2013, 2014, they're like, huh? What? I mean, this stuff down here, like, what? What's an A&R? But this is what I'm talking about. How about this? JID's album and Earth Gang's look wouldn't happen if they had an A&R like me in the building. You feel what I'm saying? We'd be
Right.
killing both of those things right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rapster with the super chat says, "Have y'all heard Mayhem Lauren and Derringer's new project, Black Vladimir? It's pretty solid. Each track is a banger. I gotta check that out.
Who? Who?
Let's see. My bad. It is Derringer and Mayhem Lauren.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I think it was another
And,
song.
and here's what I mean with that too, Mike. Like, let's go back to the brighter side of him and what he does. Oh, well, Jodeci and Mary J. Blige had talent, but somebody gave them a look that helped sell
Well,
that talent.
Biggie
I
had
stayed
talent.
Coogee down to the
Yeah.
socks, the Coogee, the Versace. They gave him a look.
I
Like,
think
I'm not even, Mike, I
think
did not know
Biggie-
who the fuck Versace or Coogee were until Biggie. I'm not even about to act like I did.
I think the
You
A
know
and
what
R
Coogee
job.
was?
I think the overall A&R job that Puffy did on Biggie might be the most amazing A&R job in modern history.
No, Puffy is the best A&R ever. If you want to talk about what he's the greatest of all time at, that's the greatest A&R ever.
Yeah.
Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Biggie Smalls directed the Players Ball video for Outkast.
Yeah.
Hold on, Craig Mack too, Mike. Craig Mack going gold. Flavor in Your Ear going platinum. He's the greatest A&R of all time.
Mace, because Mace didn't rap like that before.
Mace did not rap like that. He was Murder Mace. He was part of Children of the Corn.
He made Mace a superstar. Got to give him that.
Big star, triple platinum. Mm-hmm. Murder Mace wasn't going to go gold. He was barely going to go aluminum. All right, you hear me?
And listen, as crazy as it sounds to most people, Raw Biggie is going gold. You know what I'm saying? The Puffy Biggie, or whatever they took from the Juicy, wherever that came from, or him getting on Big Papa. All right, listen to Dolly Baby by
Dolly My Baby, yeah. Super Cat.
Tell me that same guy is gonna be a platinum artist.
Hold on. Think about this. Nas was becoming a whole sex symbol to women, and Illmatic didn't go gold. Don't tell me this nigga's going gold without Big Papa and One More Chance and Juicy. No, like no.
Oh no. Even the decision to actually create the One More Chance remix, because most labels would have been good off of what they had on Ready to Die. The fact that he went and actually made the One More Chance remix, I remember Puff saying in a recent interview where he was saying that's when Big hit stride on that One More Chance remix. I never heard Puff say that, but I always thought that. Like the Big that we know now, that was the One More Chance remix Big. And that was clearly a year or so after the album was created.
Right. That's that Junior Mafia Get Money remix time, Mike. That's that same time. That's the following summer.
Yeah.
The Get Money remix was right before One More Chance. Frank White, the Desperado, used to rock the all black Movado, the all black Elder. I told you, I was like, that nigga different. I was like, who's that guy? That's not the guy on Ready to Die. The guy on the Get Money remix and on the One More Chance remix, that's not the guy on Ready to Die. It's not the same guy.
I'm the rapper with clout everybody yap about. Check it out.
Guns are busting. Problems with my wife. Don't discuss them. Hoops and lyrics. Mike, nobody had ever bobbed and weaved like that really before.
Man. Mad Max of the Super Chat says, Ransom's album is better than Lupe's. No disrespect. Lupe's album was boring vocally, and Ransom's album was better produced. And lyrics are on par.
It's better produced, yeah. I'll give it better production.
I like the production on Drill Music in Zion.
I like it. I don't love it. I think the Ransom album is slightly better produced.
I think the highlights, maybe from end to end, but the highlights on Drill Music in Zion, I love the horns and the jazzy choices that he took. Jay Short says, have you guys talked about Big Pooh? With this album, I'm asking, is he the Big Pooh and Little Brother? And the other guys showing up. I listened to the album, and it was solid. I mean, it was a good album.
It was just a good album. It wasn't enough to do a show about or to give like an official rating to.
I was kind of bored. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just saying.
I wasn't gonna say bored. It was just solid.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good album.
Hold on. First of all, a couple things. First of all, I know Coogee and Versace existed before Biggie, but unfortunately for me, when Big Papa came out, I had I think I had the luxury of being in 8th grade when Ready to Die came out. Like, oh my God. It's like, no, I didn't know what Versace and Coogee was in 8th grade, living on the west side of Charlotte on my grandfather's land that my mother and my aunts used to live in an outhouse out of literally like 25, 30 years before. No, the fuck, we didn't know what Coogee and Versace was.
LP with the super chat says, party and bullshit, Biggie doesn't sell without Puff. That's just the God honest truth.
That's the truth.
I mean, he's a dope rapper.
Mike, Who Shots is not going to sell any records, and neither
is Who Shots is not going to even be made without Puffy in the picture.
This is very true. Machine Gun Funk's not going to go platinum.
No. Yeah, those are the records you get if Puffy's not in the picture.
Suicidal Thoughts is not going platinum.
You're going to get, and I like Warning. I love Warning, but those are the records you're going to get if Puffy's not in the picture.
Everyday Struggle should go platinum. It's not going platinum.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's not. The World Is Yours and It Ain't Hard to Tell couldn't go gold, Mike. One Love, think about it. The singles to Illmatic, in this order, It Ain't Hard to Tell, The World Is Yours, and One Love, and it couldn't go gold. What do you want quintessential East Coast hip hop to sound like? I'm sorry. What you want to sound like to go gold, go platinum, without having to do it up. So like Big seen it. That's part of why Big doubled down. He seen what happened to Nas. That's why he bought in with what happening with Puff. Because he's like, this nigga Nas ain't moving no records. This is some of the best shit I ever heard. It's like, play that Diana Ross shit again, Puff.
Yeah. Jay Short says, if JD was Puffy, the Brat would be top 10 minimum. Strong statement. I think one of the issues when it comes to the Brat and Funkdafied, as successful as it was, I think that it kind of ripped off of G-Funk a little bit too much to the point where it put the Brat in a position where she wasn't able to grow from there. We never really understood or knew what the Brat's actual sound was. So and I remember JD saying he struggled to find her sound too.
I thought her sound as an artist, in terms of like crafting it out, should have been that Made a Funk Be With You. Remember that record? Mm-hmm. And Give It To You? That's how her sound should have sounded. Give It To You and Made a Funk Be With You. Those were the sounds on that album. I'm like, she needs to keep doing that because that's her sound. She's finding her sound within JD, having her use other people's sounds. Because all Funkdafied is like a Ready to Die Doggy Style clone. It's like pieces of Ready to Die in Doggy Style.
It is. And you know, when you say Give It To You, you're talking about the remix, right?
Yes.
That's the one, yeah. Yes. That record right there, that's the sound.
That's the sound.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Made a Funk Be With You like had that original sound on the album. It just wasn't as catchy. But when she was in that groove and that melody, I'm like, that's where her future is, making those types of records. And so she came back with that super sped up Chi-Town flow. You know what I'm saying? Which didn't play to her advantage because she didn't use it the first time around really like that.
Exactly. It wasn't bad. It was just unidentifiable to people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, I didn't expect that.
Well, she was using that flow and niggas didn't even know Twister like that. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And they didn't even know that was the Chi sound. She was actually trying to get back more into her roots with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they rhyme in the Chi. Listen to Kendrick. His family's from the Chi. Listen to Twister. Even listen to Early Common. You know how Early Common rap, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's asking about the Cannibal Ox. I listened to it. Great album. I don't know if we could just totally talk about it, but yeah.
I feel like that about the way I feel about the Pooh album. It's like both of these were solid projects, but this is what I'm saying is like for y'all that have been telling us to listen to the Pooh and listen to the Cannibal Ox. I say this respectfully. Like, that's y'all shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my shit like that too. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, it's probably not going like make. Like, it's not at that level. It's not like that. It's not.
I mean, this is the thing. It's hard. It's hard to do
that. It's a solid project. It's
hard to do a whole segment on it.
That's why the projects are just solid. If we can't get a whole segment out of it, like in a discourse about it, because here's the thing about it, and I hate to say it, to even this degree of doing this show, well, the brand and the name does matters. It's like, no, for us to pull up and talk about Cannibal Ox's project for about 20, 30 minutes or Pooh's project, no, that shit need to be stellar, not just good.
Well, Cold Veins, a dope album, is the fact it's just 21 years old. Came out in 2001. I mean, we could do a throwback show and probably do it on our Patreon or whatever and, you know, go through it and play it. I think that'd be dope. But Reggie says, that JD track with the Brat and Crazy Bone goes. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Let's All Get High. That's the best record on there, too.
It is, by far.
By far.
LP with the super chat says, pro-black East Coast rap never sold. PE only, and they had more of a universal sound that appealed to white people. East Coast boom bap never sold. Yeah, PE was like a rock.
Public Enemy wasn't going like platinum either. They weren't like going like multi-platinum and stuff. No, they weren't. Because NWA was doing that.
Mm-hmm. Well,
NWA was selling records with the gangster rap.
Well, NWA's in Cali too, but I think as far as like the reach, and I think PE was just touring a lot, going overseas.